record this. Hi, so welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have Amanda Webb on. Amanda, I don't even know what to call you because I'm like, you're way more than Justin's assistant. You're like Justin's COO, like
Yeah.
running the legacy team. But we're just so thank you so much for offering to do this for our team, and we'll get it recorded because I know people far and wide want to use this. So we have some people that are listening on today that have no about show because they get the daily text and they love all the marketing that comes at them. But then they're like, wow, I didn't realize there's capabilities for me to now automate my customer experience. And then we have some of us on here that are using it, but we're like, eek, I'm not really probably using it to the level that I can be using it. And what's all the bells and whistles and how can I really maximize the customer experience with Shout?
Yeah.
So let me give you, I don't know if like, I'll make you a co-host in case you wanted to share anything.
Yes.
And we'll rock it out. And I'll keep an eye on questions in the chat. I don't know if you want to pause at certain points and we can take live questions or just set it up however you want to run with it.
I would say, tell me what I can help with the most. Do you want me to go through and kind of do like a quick overview of Shout, or do you want to just jump into questions and I can just start answering?
I would love like a 7-minute baseline overview of Shout, like where to find stuff. Because you like, even Lindsay was like, Kim, there's like these great tutorials of like, so I'm looking at Diana, right? She's got a monster pod and she's like, I gotta get my contacts in. And I know there's tutorials, within the app to do all that stuff. So like baseline, somebody signs up, they want to do social retail made easy. What does that look like? How do they start importing contacts and all that good stuff?
Okay, so just another like a little tidbit is Shout now has a desktop browser, like a desktop app for Mac and I believe Microsoft. That's what I use as a power user, and I love it because it's not into the web. So just a little tidbit: if you want to go into the app store, you can download the Shout for desktop. So let's say somebody downloads the Shout app on their phone and on their computer, and the first step would obviously be, I need to get my contacts into Shout. We have a tutorial on our Getting Started page where you are, and it's called migration, and you can watch the tutorial on how to do migration from start to finish. There's two different tutorials. There's a video tutorial that walks you through step by step, which is a screen recording. And then there's also a written. So I know everybody learns differently. And so you can kind of read it and watch it and push pause and then go to your computer and do it. Or we also have it as a migration service. So I can send you guys the link to pay for migration. It's just a one-time service. We go into your shifting retail back office and we download all of your reports, customer team, and like if you do the upper package, we even will do your product category tagging. So we will tag your customers as purchasing BioCell, Trim, LBS, and Gut Health, or in Cell Proof. So we, for our VA services, which is another part of Social Retail Made Easy, we do a lot of target marketing with the product category tagging. So migration wise, I will send you guys a link. I don't think it's best for me to walk you through that just because that can take.
Yeah, we don't need to walk us through this, but I would, where would we find that in the dashboard? If somebody wanted to watch that tutorial video, where would that be housed?
Yeah, so let me bring it up really quick and I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay. Let me see, now I gotta go back to Zoom. There we go. Okay, so this is the link to migration. And you can either click two buttons, do it yourself or pay for migration. And then that is where you can go from there. So once
and if someone were to do it for themselves, they would click that link and that's where the two tutorials would be housed right there. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
easy.
As soon as you pop it up, there's two buttons, do it yourself, pay for migration. So and there's two instructional videos. There's one to do it from shifting retail and one from PB. So if you're transferring over to PB, that also has a tutorial on how to do it as well.
Awesome.
So a little Shout overview. This is your dashboard. And I work very closely with the Shout CEO, and this is all going to be changed. What's going to be cool about this new dashboard is they're going to be adding like your favorite like chats, like either individual chats or group chats. They're going to be easier to find. I've given him some feedback that I don't love the inbox. I feel like the inbox is a little confusing sometimes. To give you an overview of the inbox is anytime you send out a message, it auto populates into your inbox. So it's not like an email where it's like, it goes into sent. So when we do broadcast messages, Shout, as soon as you do your second broadcast message to all your customers, they will automatically be closed. So what happens is I can go to any of these messages and I can click close. These closed messages go into here under closed. So this is where you're going to see pretty much all of your sent or anything that you close, but you can always, you know, search for either a keyword or somebody and it will find it for you. And then in here, you can also do like a bulk select. So like you could clear out your entire inbox by clicking here and you could click mark closed or mark read or unread, however, you know, you want to do that. Let's see. And then also in here is if you want to go to your group chats, up here is group chats. So this is where you're going to find all my group chats. Now, see, I don't have any open group chats because I don't have any open that I'm currently in a conversation with. So I just go to closed and there they all are. So these are all of our group chats. And then this little button right here, it shows only unread messages. So you can see that this little red thing, we're in a lot of chats, but you can see that that means that they're unread. So do you guys really quickly have any questions about the inbox? No? Okay, perfect. Okay, so when you first go into, you're going to go into your contacts and you can see, sorry, this account is big. So this is where all of your contacts live in contacts. And then you can organize your contacts into groups. So these are all of your different groups. You can see how many are in the group and how many are Shout to Shout contacts. So that means that they have the Shout app downloaded so that you could communicate with them for free.
So most of the people here, Amanda, that are using this are going to be, they're not probably going to be Shout users. They're just our end customers.
Right. So for example, let's say like, I'm just going to do I have customers in here? Oh, okay. So I'm just going to do this test group.
Yep.
Anywhere in your groups, you can click on these three little dots. I'll just do it up here. And you can do view, edit, and manage or duplicate. So these are just like your little editing tools. And then on the left-hand side, you can click this little plus sign and you can send this entire group a broadcast message, have everybody start a bot or run a drip or create a reoccurring event. So over here is where you set actions for that group. And over here is where you can edit and manage the contacts within that group. We use tags a lot for target marketing. So we have like Canada, we do people, you know, like the self-proof class like is done. These are really helpful for like your VIP list, like July promo, just different things like that. Because when you are sending a broadcast message, I don't know if you guys know this. Sorry, and it takes a minute because we have a lot of customers or contacts in our account. 1 second. Come on. Well.
While that's loading, I'm looking at your screen and I see a little thing that says upload CSV, which is an Excel doc. So for instance, I could go to my Shifting Retail website. I could go run a report for a specific product, say BioCell. And then I could download that Excel and upload it here. And then I could tag all of them at one time pretty easily. Okay.
Yes. So when you click upload a CSV, so it's not an Excel form, it's actually a CSV. So you have to export your Excel spreadsheet as a CSV, but you need this download template, which means you have to take the information from Modera's CSV and put it into, so it matches Shout's CSV. And there's a whole tutorial for that. So like, yeah, I mean, you can go through this process, and again, like on our migration, we have the tutorial. I don't know why this is not, okay, let's
So
just.
Amanda, while you're waiting for this to upload, I just want to jump in and just give people a couple of scenarios of how they can leverage this. I saw Cheryl's question there. So for like all of you that are baseline users, like this is to me, and for the first like year that I automated some of my promos, I did baseline where I literally uploaded all of my customers and I had them in a customer file, and that was it.
Yep.
And I would just send out a message anytime a promo came up. I would send them a hi first name message that was like, I'm so excited to share that this is what's going on and this is what's available to you. Message back BioCell, or message back summer fun, or promo, whatever. You do a keyword, so they message you back, and then you can build your VIP list from like letting everyone know. And it's a touch point, right? Because I have Lindsay now, you know, she has bundled people up into exactly what Amanda said, BioCell, trim, lean body. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes we will target them based on the last BioCell promo. We target them as we know you've used and loved BioCell in the past. This is what's happening. Or, hey, you love your trim, but you haven't tried this yet. This is a great time to maybe. So then you can tailor your messages to your customer if you do decide to tag them or do what Denise, that's a great little ninja tip too, right? To not have to go through each person and individually tag them. You could migrate them over.
Yes.
Already by, searching product usage.
Yeah, and it's we call it target marketing, just because when you can personally tell your customer that you know what they're purchasing and you know their purchase history, it really creates that relationship, and it doesn't make them feel like you're constantly just pushing promos at them. And text marketing is very different than, let's say, a social media post. Everything needs to be very, very short and precise. You don't want to give them a whole novel. One, nobody's going to read it. And two, it's going to be flagged as spam. And so Shout is very conservative in their text marketing, because they don't want you to burn your number, which means a carrier will flag it as spam, nothing will go through, and then therefore that number is burned. And so just be very, very short with your messages, and put the most important information in a graphic or in a link. That would be my little tip for text marketing. So back to broadcast message. When you do a broadcast message means it's going to be broadcasted to more than one person. I can go here to select recipients, and this is where I can select my groups, or I can select individual contacts. So I can come in here and just, select individual contacts. I can also select tags. So one thing I can do, it's like, if I go to here and I go into my customers, let's say I wanted to, there was like the last promo was the pure and the sport. So I have all my customers in a group, but if I want to do something different and send all of my previously BioCell customers, so I want to send them more of a target message, I can go into exclusions. I can go in and say, send it to all of my customers, but don't send it to anyone who has, I'm going to pretend this is BioCell, I'm going to select that. So what this does is this will send a generic message about the promo to all of your customers, but not to the people who you have tagged. Once you do that, then you go back and you can send a very specific, more personal message to everybody within that tag. So it's a little bit more, it's above your baseline rather than just sending a generic group message, but that's what we call target marketing. And so these exclusions they're really nice because you can determine exactly and pinpoint who you're going to send messages to. So if I click save, you need to make sure and select your service. Marketing is what we recommend. And then you can just take that off. That just means if they have the app, it's going to send it via the app. But if you're sending it to customers, you don't want it to send via the app. Down here, you have your message helpers, which is where we put our promo message templates. So when you click on it, you can see all of these different social retail made easy, different messages. So here's the July promo, and I think this was the day Yeah, this was the first day. Now it comes with a little image. I always recommend clicking MMS. If you don't want the image and you want to put in your own image, just click the X and you come down here to attach file, and you can just attach any file you want. And then down here is your nouns. So this is what Shout calls nouns, just like in PB. It just takes the information from your contact list. And there are so many nouns. And when you click to guide, you can see it's amazing how many nouns they have. Down here, you don't need to worry about this. This is when they used to send, you would charge per segments. Shout doesn't do that anymore. Every single broadcast message is 1 credit. 1 credit costs 2 cents. Just to give you some information, PB is 2.5 cents. So Shout is cheaper. Do you guys have any questions on just kind of like this inbox features? Do you guys have any questions about that?
The only one that I would have you walk them through, because this has been a game changer for me and I've gotten a lot of additional orders from it, is that if you tag someone with like anniversary credits, and I saw that you had an anniversary credit message.
Yes. Yes. So our message templates. So this is actually just our anniversary. Yeah. So this is what we send out for anniversaries. Shout right now is working on automating. They have made custom messages for birthdays for a social marketer and a customer, an anniversary for a customer and a social marketer. They're working on fixing it and making it work really well. Right now, it's not 100% there. So what I have taught my VAs is to go into your customer pod, and you can then just weekly, you can create just kind of like, you can schedule messages, you know, so you would come back into broadcast messages and you would just tag those individual recipients and then add the birthday message. Does that answer your question as a workaround for right now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So now we're going to, let's go into automations. Okay. This is where Shout shines, in my opinion. Bots and drips, it gets kind of confusing. Drips are, it's determined by time. So if I go into my drips, this is how we do the daily Shout, right? It is sent every day, determined by a time. So I know you guys were talking about you mentioned the Sell Proof virtual class. So when you are a Social Retail Mini Z subscriber, you either pay for the monthly or the full package up front. When you open a drip, it gives you instructions on who, when, and how. Who do you send this to, when, and then how do you send it? And then it gives you instructions on how to edit it. So in a drip campaign, you need to make sure you select your service. So if you have a marketing number and you use it, make sure that's, checked off. I just have everything connected. So trigger words. Trigger words is comparable to a PB called keyword. If somebody texts in this word to your phone number, which down here you can see your 2 phone numbers, customer service and marketing numbers. If they text in this phrase, and now it has to be isolated. It can't be, it's not going to work if it's in a sentence. It's not going to work if it's like, in a long paragraph, only if it's isolated. And you can make these whatever you want. Everything you upload is editable. It's totally your content. So as you scroll down to message 1, this is what it says, talking about the 3-part video class on the Sell Proof line. They then have to reply with this word to get the Sell Proof bot to be activated. So this is where it gets a little confusing. This is a drip that is determined by time. So this drip starts 0 minutes after they text in this trigger word. They get this message. When this message is sent and they reply to Sell Proof class, this activates a bot. So when we go over into bots and we go down to the Sell Proof class part 1, again, it has the instructions. And then as you go down, you can see that here's that same trigger word. When they reply with that trigger word from the drip, this is what they will get. Yay, welcome to part 1 of the Sell Proof virtual class. here is the link to the first video. She then gives you a trigger word at the end of the video when you watch it, that therefore then will automatically start the second bot of Cell-Proof. So down here, you will see virtual class part 2. And you'll see again that the trigger word is video 2, because she says at the end of the video, text in the word video 2 to get the next video. Here's your message. And then here we have reply video 3 because she didn't add it. And then it goes so on and so on. So this is how the drip and the bot works together. And then the drip then is what it does is it goes back in. Let's see. So this is part 1. And then when she's done, when it goes back to part 2, this is sent so on the last video and the person gets that 4th message on the video, it automatically will assign them to this drip campaign, which means they watched all 4 videos. If they went through every single video, then they will get this message 24 hours after the drip is activated, which it's activated by them texting in for that 4th video. I know that's a lot. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see.
I think it's one of those things too, Amanda, once you are in it and using it, it's a lot. Yeah. And even on that, like so I did my first class, and for me, I was thinking from a marketing standpoint and a consumer standpoint, if I was like the end person, if it just kind of came to me without having to ask for the next one, because sometimes people just forget, or they're like, what was I supposed to text? And they're like, oh, I couldn't remember what I was going to text, forget it. And they just like, it's not that important to them, like that they, so when, I'm just curious if there's what the marketing is behind it, to not just send them send them all 4 together.
So one thing we've found is that customers get very weird about text messages. Our goal is for them to not text stop. We don't want them bombard them with text after text after text, and then they just get frustrated and then they just text in the word stop. So the reason behind this is because this is a customer-led experience. If they want the next video, which I don't know if you guys have watched those videos, but Victoria Bishop is the cutest thing ever. Her videos are awesome. And I love her end tutorial from start to finish, where she puts the entire product line on her face herself. So I love it. But if you want to do it to where you just every day were to give them a new video, you could totally do it that way. What you would do is you would just go into that first drip campaign. And what you would do is you would just edit it and just take the same content and the same wording from the bots. Yeah. So you would come down here and then you would click this little add message button. And this is where you would copy and or paste in that same message. And you just need to make sure that you say, I want to do this, send this one day at, I always kind of recommend 10 a.m. Mountain Time because it's not too early for Pacific time and it's not, so this is down here, it gives you kind of a help. This message will send at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, one day after the campaign begins. So if you wanted to, you could edit this and just make it a drip campaign. Copy the content from the bot, bring it in here. And then when you're done, I have to delete this 1 second. When you're done, you just click save. And then when you go back into here, I can show you really quick. I think someone asked, how do you assign like a person on this drip? There's either the trigger word that they can trigger, like they can text in. So if you're on social media and you're talking about Cell-Proof and you're like, I have this amazing tutorial video or more education, would you, if you'd like to know more, text in this word to my number. It will automatically activate by that person texting in the trigger word. Or what you do is there's several different ways. You can go to the drip and then you can go to assign a contact, or you can go back to contacts and assign the drip, or you can go back into groups and run the drip, just like I showed you previously. There's lots of different ways that you can run a drip campaign.
So Amanda, one of the questions that came in is like, if somebody, just one of us want to just watch the class, because I haven't seen it yet, you would just, because I know Diana, you bought Social Retail Made Easy, she would just go into drips and she could just watch the course right in there, watch whatever she wants.
Yeah, so I would actually recommend any of these. I would recommend experiencing it before you send it out to your customers. It kind of gives you a better idea of what they're receiving. And if there happens to be something that isn't working, or maybe you forgot to activate any of these things, you'll be able to tell, to be like, wait, why isn't it happening? So you could either do it through Shout to Shout, which is a free way to experience it, or you can send it to your own phone number, your personal number, and experience it that way. Do you guys have any other questions about drips or bots? It's, my opinion is you just get in there, and I would just come in here and I would just click on, let's just make a drip, and just play around with it, push the buttons. I will recommend that every time that you have a message, this is what's really cool, is all of these actions that you can do. You can add, so let's say somebody comes in and they do the cell-proof class. You could tag them as cell-proof class, so you know that they've been through the cell-proof class. You can add them to a group. You can remove them from a group, remove a tag. And then what I would recommend is you always click auto mark done. This auto mark done means that it doesn't show up in your inbox. I hate when my inbox gets filled. I'm kind of OCD about it. So if you click auto mark done, that means even though after the message sent, it will just automatically show up in your closed. So it's not going to be in your inbox. It's going to be automatically closed. So you're not having to manually close it. Do you guys have any other questions about drips and bots? One bot I really wanted to show you guys for Social Retail Made Easy is we just recently sent out, one second. We just recently just kind of did like a generic promo bot for every month. So let me see if I can find it. I'll just use this one. Okay. So every month we sent you guys a bot to use for somebody to text in. So every month, and we gave you a tutorial video. Lindsay made a good tutorial video on how to edit it every single month. So what you're going to do with the same bot is you're going to come in and you're just going to change your promo word. So let's say there's a promo at the end of the month, and I'm not sure what it is yet, but if it's on, let's say, access, you could do the trigger word access. So you could then put in on a story flow, on a reel, if you want to learn more, there's a sale coming, text the word access to this number, then the person coming in will actually come into this bot. So what we've done here is that when you get a customer or a prospective customer, which they're not a full customer yet, but they're a prospective customer, we want to onboard them into Shout. We need to get their first and last name and tag them as a prospective customer. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your message and it says, this is your name. Can I get your first and last name? Once they reply with your first and last name, it takes them to the next message. Some of our influencers who are our VA clients, they like to know what platform these prospective customers are coming from. So we have reply, what platform are you coming from? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So what happens is when they have those three options, they reply TikTok, then they get this message. So this is the message that they get. Then here's the promo information that they asked for. So we call this an onboarding prospective bot coming from social media. Do you guys have any questions about that?
So through this flow, it doesn't get them registered as a.
Nope, it just becomes a prospective customer because you could do your link, but some people like to just text in their name, in, they want more information. So this is just one avenue of getting a prospective customer. And then from there, if you can, what I would recommend is a lot of times we've learned to just do a link, put in a cart link. And one of our VA clients, what she did is for the promo of July, she made it a cart for every single possible scenario, maybe not everyone, but pretty much a lot of the scenarios that you could get the promo with Pure and Sport. to be able to get you that, the freebie and the $10 off. And then she wrote in the message here, here's my cart link. Anything that you don't want to purchase, just remove it. And it actually turned out to be a really successful promo because she sent them the link, they clicked on it, and then they just removed whatever they didn't want, and then they moved on. Now from there, they're no longer a prospective customer, they are a customer. So from there, you would then need to go into your account, your Shout account, find them and change them from a prospective customer into a customer. That's what our VAs do, is they run the reports, and any customer that comes in, they check to make sure they untag them as a prospective customer, because now they are a customer. When that new customer does come in, we check for two things. Are they a VIP customer on subscribe and save? Or are they just a normal subscriber or customer? That's where those two drips of Social Retail Made Easy come in, where you have your new VIP customer, and then you have your normal new customer campaign. And these are all things that you can edit to match how you want to contact your customers. Are there any questions there? Sorry, I feel like I'm going really fast, so please stop me. It's just a lot of information.
No, it's great, Amanda. I mean, I think, for me, again, just the translation, because if I had heard that for the first time not using this, that's like someone signs up a new customer. If you wanted to automate the customer experience of getting like a thank you for your order, so excited, like getting started instructions and then a touch base after a week. And that's what this would be. I know many of you do an incredible job with customer care, just direct. But when your customer base gets to a certain size, you can automate it if you wanted to.
Yeah, so we have this new customer campaign. This is people not on subscribe and save. So what it does is it just welcomes your number. It says, make sure and save it in your phone. And then it tells them about, you have your $10 off referral code. Then literally it says, we do 1 day later, it says, were you able to find your code? We kind of, it kind of walks them through that customer care rather than like, oh, great, you got a new customer. And now they've fallen off and you don't have time to manage them or to keep that relationship going. So this just kind of goes through all the way to day 28, where it then starts to teach them about subscribe and save, on how to save even more money. So it educates them on subscribe and save and how to switch over to that. So that, but again, all of this stuff can be edited. It's all, we want it to make sure it's your voice. It's just the content is there to give you the baseline on, this is what a successful SM said, that this is how they communicated with their customers.
No, it's awesome. I think it's a great start. Great start overview. It's a lot. It's like you said, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And that's one of the, I would say, is one of the cons of Shout. But if you can get past that little learning curve and just get in there and try it out, the automations are amazing. They should be taking time off of your hands, to where if you get a bunch of customers, a lot of time customer care can take over your daily, life and your business, when you guys should be doing other things like working on social media and getting prospective customers rather than just trying to manage those customers. And so that's where this comes in. Do you guys have any other questions about like any of the other Social Retail Made Easy drip campaigns or bots or anything? I'm happy to answer any questions. I just have a hard stop at 45.
You want to take it off share, Amanda? Some people can.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think you have the share button.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple of questions that came in.
Okay. Do you want me to take off screen share?
Yeah, probably at this point, because I think that, yeah. So Diana, do you want to ask your questions?
I have questions too.
Oh, yeah, I got confused because I'm pretty new to all this. So I signed up for the Social Retail Made Easy, that whole year program.
Yeah.
But then when you go in and do all this, you have to sign up for another program, right? To send out the messages, or you're charged individually, or that's where I get confused.
Yeah, so we are Social Retail Made Easy, which is we have built the content, drip campaigns, everything to help you get started. Shout is the third-party provider that sends the text messages. So we are completely different. We just have partnered with them to make this as easy as possible for our social marketers. So you can either sign up for a pay as you go, but I wouldn't recommend that just because the credits are more expensive.
Okay.
I would recommend either the customer service one, the basic, or the pro. The basic one will give you a local customer service number. If your customer pod is about 200 or less, I would recommend just go ahead and doing the customer service number, the basic. If
What's the fee for that, Amanda, for the year?
it's 14. a month.
$14 or 14 per month. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you have a bigger customer pot, I recommend the marketing number. It's not regulated. It's a toll-free number. So it's less likely to get or marked as spam, and you can send thousands of messages a day on that number. And that one I believe is 22 or 25. I think it depends if you pay for a year or if you pay monthly, but Shout is the service that gives us this automation. They send the text messages. Social Retail Made Easy is you're purchasing the content and the daily shout past 120 days all the way through 365.
Okay. So that's available on Shout, like for me to go in and purchase that. It's not through us, through Modera. Okay.
No, this is completely different. Yeah.
And then on the local one, but are there a certain amount of messages you can send with that?
No, they just recommend if you're sending around 200 or less, that's great. If you're sending a ton over, it's just possible that they could flag your number.
Okay.
But I haven't heard of a lot of numbers being totally shut off. I know with us, the legacy team, in the year past, we got our number flagged several times because of carrier regulations, but Shouts always seems to be able to get it back going. So.
Okay.
I have two quick questions, Amanda. Thank you for this. One is when you, in the beginning, when you spoke of the app for desktop, what is their advantage to that over just going online, just doing the website of Shout?
No, there's not a huge, I just like it just because it just pops up and I have it full screen and I'm not distracted by everything else.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and it should have all the same functionality. And Shout is going to be rolling out kind of a bunch of different functions that are coming out, which are exciting within like the next 2 weeks. So.
Okay. And second question is unused credits, because I honestly haven't been utilizing this the way I should. Do they transfer to the month or do they expire within a month?
They roll over. Whatever
cool.
you purchase, you get forever.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you're in your settings, when you're setting up your Shout account, you can choose once let's say you've used all your credits for the month, you can choose how you are billed. So you can do 5,000 credits for $10 a month. You can go, you can go up to I don't remember what the cost is, but you get to choose how you're billed. So if you don't want to be billed for a bunch of credits for $100, make sure it's on the lower renew.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amanda, this is an add-on question to that, because I know we were on the phone with the founder a while back. So I send out a message to my customers, my X amount of customers, and they respond back that 25% of them respond back. And so I respond back to those. I think he was working on that. We don't get charged for the back and forth on the original message.
Nope, it's free. So
right, so that's huge, you guys, right? So you can interact with, as long as your customer raises their hand on that initial message, you can go back and forth and secure the order or get the education out, and you're not charged.
Yeah.
For all that back and forth.
The only things that are charged are broadcast messages, scheduled, and automations. So anytime you use a drip, that's a charge. Anytime you use a bot, that's a charge. Not when they respond, just when you send out.
Yep.
And then one-on-one conversation is always free.
Denise, did you have a question before? You're good. Amanda, you have like 2 more minutes.
Okay. When I struggle a little bit once it triggers, like when you drop something new. I feel like I don't understand the sequence. Like, where do I click to find? Like, you send the link, I open it, and I'm like, great, I got it downloaded. Then I'm like, oh, how do I find that again? If I want to go read and edit.
Right. So
just show me that.
If you import any of that information. So let's say every time there's a promo, we normally give you a bot, we give you message templates. And then instead of doing the images in Shout, I just have been giving you guys the links for the story flows. That makes it a lot easier. But if you import a bot, they're in automations under bot. If you import a drip, they're in drip. Same with message templates. Do you guys know how to find message templates?
You showed us at the beginning. I took a screenshot, but you better show us again.
Okay, so what you do is you go to your account and you go right here to message templates. So this is where all your message templates live. What I also recommend is quick responses. So when we are doing Shout customer service for the daily Shout, if you're constantly replying the same message, or maybe your cart, like let's say there's a promo coming and you want to have an automated message on here's my cart, you can just do a quick response and put that in there, because then that way, let's go to your, like if I'm in my inbox, let's just bring up Hannah, but like you can go down here to your message helpers and click on quick response. And then you can just click on any one of these, like when people ask for help, we just click that and it says, hi there, how can I help? So it's kind of like, it's not just like boards, but it's kind of like it's pre-typed out messages so that you're not having to type them out every single time. So I would really recommend using these two things. Message templates would be more like sending out broadcast messages that have images and all that. The quick responses is, just whatever you're trying to, just like something that you respond over and over and over again.
And for the newbies, the 2 message templates that are like amazing are the birthday one and the anniversary one. It's just like get those definitely tagged, or yeah.
Right. And again, like you can always edit these to make them however you want. So they're in there because once you download the content, it's your content. And if we ever update something because of maybe Modere changes something, then we will go ahead and put it in the group chat to say, hey, this has been changed, make sure. And I always try to add the link so that you don't have to go back to folders. But really quickly, let me just show you really quick. Sharing, this is where everything should be, is in your folders, and shared with me. Shared with me is where I share all of our content with our subscribers, our Social Retail Made Easy subscribers. So when you go into here and you click on it, you can see the import button. And if anything has been changed, then it will just say the date that it was changed, and it'll be a new import button. So rather than saying it was a check mark, it will say import. Sorry, I clicked the button and it got rid of it, but.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you guys have any other really quick questions?
Awesome. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy to. And please reach out to me. You can always reach out to Social Retail Made Easy on